New York.
Apple.
Hot dogs.
Dollar.
Hollywood.
Democracy.
Freedom. Rock and roll. Wall Street.
Statue of Liberty.
Los Angeles, California.
McDonald's.
Jeans.
Bubblegum. Video games. Nintendo.
What's so great about America?
Every Saturday night, 7 to 9 p.m., explore American culture and language.
With Master Steve,
Ina MK,
And Hasba Cutie.
tune in to find out about what makes America so great.
The Great American Weekend. Listen exclusively on Radio Van 103.1.
Also, watch us on the Radio Von Facebook page, website, and mobile app.
Welcome to the Great American Weekend. That was super stereo. On Radio Van 103.1. We're here in the studio already with our guest. Good evening, Eva Voskanyan.
Good evening, darlings.
How are you doing?
Very well. Excited.
Comfortable on the couch?
Absolutely.
Of course, especially when the keyboard is with you.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, tonight's theme is Valentine's Day. And also we are going to talk about several few things as well.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of American history of some great Americans who were born this coming week back a long time ago. A long time ago. And I would also like to remind our listeners that they can watch us live right now till 9 p.m. on www.radiovan.fm, our official website. Also, our Facebook page, Radio Van FM 103.1, and our app,
application.
the Radio Von app.
Download it and listen to Radio Van anywhere around the globe. So before we get to our main theme, which will start with Eva, I would like to ask you guys, what do you think about Valentine's Day overall? Do you like that holiday?
No comment.
That was very short.
I'm going to be extra polite this week and let our guests talk more.
About Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Or
you want to pass on it too?
Well, I'm in such a circumstances of life, in a period which Valentine's Day is job for me. productive period for me. Commercial. So I'm preparing to release some new video to a song which I presented in October last year at Radio 1, the VMA Music Awards. Just waiting. We were shooting in Gyumri, the whole video, and we're preparing to release it exactly on 14th of February. Just expecting and waiting the day.
Where are you going to present it? At some venue or just
well,
online?
Actually, I had a presentation on December 1st last year. We presented a video after a long break. I hadn't any videos in 3 years, so we made that one. It's called Duna, the Snow. Mm-hmm. You can find it in YouTube if you write Eva the Snow or Eva Duna.
Eva the Snow?
Yeah.
You know nothing, Eva the Snow. Have you watched Game of Thrones?
Yes, I didn't, by the way. I didn't, but I know the story and the point, so I'm totally into it.
I watched some of it, but I never got that far. I don't know exactly what.
You're not.
But I did get it. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're not addicted.
No. I watched a little bit, and that was enough.
You're a very strong person.
No, I just get bored easily.
Oh. I wonder how can someone get bored from Game of Thrones? That's very hard, I think.
And I'm still expecting to have a time to watch it, and get into it for about, I guess, a week just lock my doors, phones, everything, and just
That's
just
many,
watch.
many
How many
watch.
seasons did it go?
That's
Yeah,
many,
how
many episodes.
So yeah, about the snow.
Yes.
In fact,
No, the other thing, not the surname.
I had a presentation and we were entering the winter with the song, with the video. And now about the Valentines is all stuff. We're representing the new one. It calls Chemozum, which means I don't want to. Yeah, perhaps. And this time, I'm not sure we're gonna make some real presentation, not online, but physically presentation. Probably I have a concert on 15th of February in Gyumri. Maybe we do a little party in there during the concert.
A little party never killed nobody.
Exactly. So, but it's just like in dreams by now. But I'm totally assured that we have to. We're in a hurry actually right now because we have just a few days left before the day. But I really trust my director of this video, Eva Voskanyan, which made the snow, the Duna, and made this one also. So I am totally assured that he will make this up until 14th.
Do you want to tell us anything about the shooting of the video that's coming out?
Oh, that was 2 shooting days. We started from 7 a.m. and finished at 4 a.m. the next day, and then started at 7 a.m. and finished at 12:30 in the second day. So I was sleeping yesterday, finally, after that all. And now I'm here, waiting to present this all.
Oh, we're also excited, but that will happen a little bit later during the show.
So I think after the commercial break, we'll come in with some live music.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Absolutely can.
And tonight, I mean, usually we have our guests on the first half of the evening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we made a special
is an
exception because you've got to get out of here.
Yeah, I have to get out of here on my concert, which starts in
5 minutes.
kinda almost in 2 hours, not 2 already. Like
So where are you playing tonight?
8:30, I'm playing on one of the clubs at Parpetsy Street,
Which is called,
I can say the name,
of course.
Station Pop.
Okay, you guys
8:30.
out there, if you want to see the concert, you still have the chance. Right after our show, run to Station Pub.
Well,
By
I
using-
mean,
Yeah.
I guess we wouldn't be too upset if they stopped listening to the show and went to see
No,
her
but you were
concert.
talking about the application which I'm preparing to download right after I leave the studio because I want to have Radio 1 with me in everywhere.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, and but what I was going to say is after her concert, then you can catch the end of our show.
Yeah.
That's live.
Yeah.
This is live, but
This
it
is
also is
live.
going to be recorded.
We are going to go for a short commercial break, and then we'll come back to listen to some of Eva's music. Stay tuned. This is the Great American Weekend. I'm here with Master Steve.
And Ina MK and Eva Voskanyan. We'll be back after this break.
So then I tell the bartender, no, you keep the change.
Guys, I don't get it.
Ina, it's an American thing.
Learn more about American humor on Great American Weekend.
Zil butang günüm Uvo cinç elçi uzun Dert veren hüzün Tevere pıkru Da dark senyakum Zakhimech pëndru Mis po pang mi për kutu արցունքներում ինձ ավը խորդակում երբ խմրում է առօրյա եւ թվում է ելք չկա ես գիտեմ եթե սպասեմ ու հավատամ նա կգա ու կտանիր հետ անցյալը նա կգա ու կբերի ինձ միայն լավը կտանի ու կջնջի ցավից հոգին իմ կզարթնի նորից երբ կա ձյունը շիտակ ձյունը ջերմակ բռնում եմ օդում պատրանքը սանգում ու թաքուն ես աղոթում իմ մութ անկյունում փրկվել եմ խնդրում Քայլում եմ իմ հիրանցած հետքերով Իմ հիմար խեն սխալներով Աչքերս լծրած Իս սիրտս կարացած Մոխրագույն է իմ ներկահան Եվ թվում է ելք չկա Բայց գիտեմ եթե սպասեմ ու հավատամ Ձյունը շիտակ, ձյունը ջերմակ Ես հասկացա, որ անիմաստ է վախենալ Ցավը այս կանցնի, երբ հավատամ Որ նա կգա ու կտանիր հետ անցյալը Ջնջի ու կսրբի ցավից նորից կզգամ հոգիս Երբ որ կգա ձյունը շիտակ ձյունը Երբ կա ձյունը շիտակ ձյունը Կգա ձյունը շիտակ ձյունը ջերմակ
I mean, Ina, I like your voice and all, but that's a much better way to come back in from a commercial break. That's incredible.
That was nice. Thank you for this snowy atmosphere.
And it finally came, when we released the video, I'm in a house in there, so there's only few parts that I'm outside, and there's no snow, and almost everybody were asking, where is the snow? But people didn't get that I'm singing about that. It's supposed to come, and
waiting
we're waiting for. And the song is all about the atmosphere, the emotion, the what is inside, yes, and about the waiting, expecting, about the New Year's and Christmas expecting of some miracle, and there's not supposed to be a snow in there, but there's something yet to come on 14th of February.
And this song does sound like a soundtrack from some cartoon or a fairy tale, or it could be.
Didn't think about it. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, like Frozen or something.
American Armenian directors, please listen to it. We have a soundtrack here.
Somebody could build a movie around that song.
Well,
Eva, when did you start your musical career? When did you start singing?
If we talk about career, No, it's really hard for me to say because I was born in musician's family. My mother is a pianist, and my father was a great cellist. He was playing in Ukraine's Kiev's opera, the first cello in the orchestra, and mom is a solist of State Philharmonic, and she's professor at Yerevan State Conservatory. So I was born in music. Before even I've been born, I've heard music. So it goes with my life like with a red line of my life. So I cannot imagine myself without it. So it's really hard to say when this all started. But I started to write songs when I was 11 years old. Yeah, and
both lyrics and music?
Yes, I always write both, if it's for me. I also write for other artists, but sometimes it's lyrics, sometimes it's music, sometimes both. But as for me, I do both for myself. And I've learned English, by the way, also in that age. And at first, I was writing like 90% of English lyrics. Then I had my own rock band since 12 years ago it was, yeah. And and people will come in and saying, why don't you write in Armenian? Why do you write only in English? People want to listen to native language and songs. And then I started to translate my songs, my English lyrics, to Armenian, because it was really I didn't get how to write in Armenian. I even wrote in Russian. I mean, the most part of lyrics were in English, and the little part was in Russian, and the smallest part was in Armenian. So I started to translate them, and then I started to write in Armenian also.
So your creative mind thinks in English?
Yes.
Okay, before we ask the next question, we'll have a break again.
We gotta go pay the bills.
Yeah, the ad is coming, and we'll come back with some more questions for Eva Voskanyan. Stay tuned. This is the Great American Weekend. We'll be back.
Vivaron ապահովագրում է ձեր առաջին խաղադրույքները։ Գրանցվեք vivarobet.am կայքում։ Կատարեք 1000 դրամ կամ ավելի խաղադրույք։ Ստացեք մինչև 10000 դրամի չափով 100% free bet, եթե հաջողություն չգրանցեք։ Մանրամասները vivarobet.am կայքում։ Նախազգուշացում, խաղին մասնակցելով կարող եք կրել նյութական վնասներ։ Ոչ թափ կամ հոգեճնշող վիճակում խաղալն անթույլատրելի է։
Hey, where are you off to?
I'm playing soccer.
You lost your sock?
No, I'm playing soccer. What you call football?
No, you don't say soccer. You say football.
Join us on the Great American Weekend and learn about different sports from America and around the world.
Լուր ժամանակն անցնում վերքերը լավանում են Բայց ամենն իմ շուրջ դեռ քեզ է հիշեցնում Եվ իմ քեզնով հիվանդ հոգում դեռ ապրում են Ինձ զգացմունքները և թաքուն Գիշերներով քեզ կարոտում եմ Իմ հոգում դեռ ապրում ես դու Ես ուզում էի սպանել կերպարը քո իմ մեջ բայց ես Չեմ ուզում առանց քեզ ապրել Ես չեմ ուզում զարթնել ու զգալ որ դու չկաս և սերը իմ սպանել մենակ խնդրում եմ մի գնա Գոնե երազներում կողքից ինձ հետ
That was very romantic, Master Steve. Did you get all the lyrics? I'm wondering.
All of it? No, definitely not all of it, but enough of it. I was thinking that the first question after the song would be, so how does that tie in to Valentine's Day? I think I got it, but I'm going to ask you anyway, just in case we have any, linguistically challenged or monolinguistic.
You need a translated version of the song first.
No, you don't need to translate it because I don't know.
I don't want to wake up. It sounds like that in English.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see.
Yeah, I really can translate it. But I want to mention that I thought this is a premiere for me to sing and play sitting on a couch. It's
exclusively for Radio Van, the Great American Weekend. Eva on the couch.
Yeah.
So when you leave tonight to go to Station Pub, are we going to have to take the couch with
you? The couch with me?
Yeah,
yes,
do you want to take it?
It's so red and it's so soft and so comfortable.
And
so
we
can call some guys.
Really?
We can call some guys.
Couch.
They can bring the couch with you for your show tonight.
Yeah, that can be some interesting part of my performances. Yeah, I
accessory. Eternal accessory. If you travel to another country, the couch is coming.
That's awesome. By the way, saying eternal, I remember that my band was calling Eternal Veil of Agony. So it was an abbreviature. But nobody in Armenia didn't get about that because it's just like EVA. That's my name. Okay, but the band had the name and it's called Eternal Veil of Agony. It was rock metal band. Yeah, and I miss it.
Which I remember being really surprised because now some of that stuff is still available online, right? On
Absolutely.
SoundCloud.
Yeah. On SoundCloud, on YouTube.
Yeah, I first... Oh, are there videos for the Eva stuff? The band stuff?
Of course. We had 3 music videos. One of them is a soundtrack of Edison series. It was like long time ago, but it exists.
Okay, because I know them from SoundCloud. I've listened to them on SoundCloud. I was surprised because I knew of you from when you used to open for Beautified Project.
Yeah, we were collaborating for long years.
Playing piano and singing. And so when I got to know you personally, when I got to know you better, and I heard about the rock band, and I went back and listened to that stuff, wow.
Yeah.
Very different.
Did what?
No.
I hope to recreate the band. I'm not sure if I can make it this year or no, because now musicians play in clubs, earning their money for living, so it's really hard to gather professional musicians around me. That's why I'm doing solo, that's why I'm doing the acoustic programs, but I really miss the band thing.
Now the song that you just played,
yes,
it has a band. The recording that's
yes,
going to be released.
I've played it acoustic right now. When we were introducing it at Radio Van, at the VMA on October, we were I was with band, and it's also that way in the recording. So it's a full band song, and yeah.
Are there any bands that you dream to cooperate with, or singers, bands?
Like in whole world?
Yeah, in the whole world, dead or alive.
It's really a hard question for me, as a question like, for example, what's the most favorite book of mine, or the song of mine, or the artist of mine, because it depends on the periods.
At this period
of time, collaboration, I have no idea, actually. With some Ukrainian, I guess, artists.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm really under the Ukrainian music for now and for the last few years. And I was at Voice of Ukraine 3 years ago. So I'm really connected. My soul is there somewhere.
Any cooperations?
Well, we had something with Jamala. Just a little part, and I made the cover video of Okeanelzy, Ukrainian rock band. The song called Strilay, but I'll just pronounce it with an English accent. Strilay, it calls.
Yeah, what did you do for the song?
I made a cover on that song of Okeanelzy.
Cover.
Yeah,
okay,
you can
cool.
find it on YouTube also.
It's one of my favorites.
Really,
actually.
you can listen it on YouTube by writing Eva Strilay again, and you'll find it.
Shoot.
Yeah. Then coming back to this one. Well, this is the one that we're gonna release on 14th of February. About the Valentines.
And the lyrics still have snow in it, so
yes.
You love the snow, don't you?
I write mostly at winter, and I wrote this one also. It was the end of January, a long time ago, actually.
Does winter inspire you, or?
I'm inspired by any season. I'm really connected to the seasons, to the weather, and I realized it while during making the snow. That I write about snow, I write about winter. I wrote a song in autumn, and last autumn about the autumn and the things that are happening in autumn. And the first line is the first autumn without him. And then I continue to think about that, but that's not nothing to worry. There's the winter will pass, and then will be the spring. Yeah, so it's yeah. I make some weather stuff.
Have you ever written about spring or summer?
Well, I can.
Or are you too busy enjoying the weather?
Offensive. Spring and summer are offended.
I wrote about in spring I wrote about the rain. In summer, I've skipped the summer. I promised to.
Okay, just do it
to do it.
Well, no, I mean
to correct my mistake about the summer.
You're too busy enjoying the summer weather to sit in a room and.
I guess
right,
so.
maybe?
Yeah, because the
know.
summer is like going outside and having fun with friends and just I don't know that all. But I promised to fix it this summer, but we have to wait until it comes.
Eva, do you have any teachers or mentors in life that have played a great role in?
Of course.
In who you are.
Of course. It's maybe not in musical part. When I started to listen to rock music, it was. I mean, I don't want to talk about the Beatles, the Pink Floyd, and the dads of.
Yeah, because this is the Great
music.
American Weekend, and they're all British bands.
Now,
Sorry.
Now, the good point is, starting from 12 years old, when I became like a teenager, I started to listen to American music like Linkin Park, Avril Lavigne, Evanescence. Then afterwards, Dream Theater, for example, which is a great example of Americans, because they are from they have different nations, but they are American band, like they're Jewish, Japanese, Italian, and I don't remember actually who two of them are, but it's international band, but it is American, and it's one of my beloved bands until right now. Yeah, that is what about the music. And about life, my grandmother, every good thing that you see in me, it is her. Elda Green, which was a psychologist and writer, in a shake, nodding her head like, you know her?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about her.
Well,
a lot of good things.
Yeah, she was my mentor, and I still keep her in my heart, and I will lead her to the end of my life.
We've got some sticker comments. Susanna Khachaturian.
Hey there.
And also our lovely and loyal listener, Irene. Sends lots of hearts.
A lot of hearts.
And before
some of them are shiny and some of them are purple.
Yeah. And before when we
understand emojis.
Master Steve. When we put the announcement of Eva coming to our show, she wrote that she loves you and your music. So
thank you so much.
Thank you, Irene. Thanks for being with us always.
So and Eva,
go ahead.
Your father was a classical cellist.
Yes.
Your mother was a classical pianist.
Yes.
When you started playing rock music, listening to rock music, what was their reaction?
I was in classical music before I changed to rock. And I mean, I was when I was 3 years old, I was absolutely imagining that I'm gonna be, and it was decided by me by that time already, that I am gonna be an opera singer. Absolutely, no excuses, no other ways. Opera singer. I was listening the operas on the
records
old,
on vinyl.
Yes, records on vinyl, right. And when I've started to listen rock music and making rock music, my grandmother and mom were like with two hands up to me and encouraging me, and they were with me. And Dad didn't actually like this whole stuff, but I mean, he was that kind of person that he didn't accept any other style but the classical music, and I really understood him because he was a student of Rostropovich. He was he was really aged person. I'm late child.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's okay that he were thinking that way. But mom and grandmother were also always were standing behind my back and encouraging me in this old.
Speaking of childhood, what do you miss the most about being a child?
Everything. No, I miss the. Well, in any age, you have your responsibilities. Making your homework, studying, or earning money. For example, right now, it's all the both are responsibilities. But when we are small, we dream to grow up, not to go to school. Then we grow up
until we realize that work is worse.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say.
We never appreciate what we have.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we don't, and it's human being
nature. Yeah,
we don't appreciate what we have till we lose it, and then we start to appreciate some things.
Well, since we're in this love episode, and love is in the air and in your songs and, and everywhere, could you define love in your own understanding? What is love?
Trust and I guess whatever is the emotion, that's a feeling which you have to fall into with 100%, with no excuses. The trust, the understanding from both sides. And I can talk a lot about love, but I don't like to talk about it. I love to do it. I love to spread it out.
That's a confession.
So yeah, you better watch my moves, and that's what I'm expecting from others. To not talk less, do more. That's it.
Thank you.
Well, until we go to a commercial break, we're going to keep talking. But after the commercial break, if you could play another song for us, that would be great.
I will, and I sang two Armenian language songs, so this one is supposed to be in English finally.
Great, there you go. But it will be in 10 minutes.
Yes, we still have time.
We'll still have time.
I have a question. So, you when you were very young, you wanted to be an opera singer.
Mm-hmm.
So your voice was your first instrument.
Yes, it was.
Piano second?
Well, it came like both.
Parallel.
Yeah. And because we had an instrument at our house, and I was, I don't know, as I opened my eyes, as I started to walk, I was walking to the piano and just doing some blah, 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 things. Then mom took me to the solfeggio classes when I was 3 and almost 4 years old.
That young? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, when I entered school after Tchaikovsky in here, I already knew the bass.
The notes.
Yes, the notes, the bass, of course. I knew to write, to read.
Did you revenge then?
No, I loved to study, by the way. That's why then when I finished the Tchaikovsky school, I entered 2 universities at the same time. So now I have 2 master degrees in musical art from conservatory, and psychology is my second.
No, so you were following your grandma's
grandmother.
steps?
Yes, I took. I guess I'm just like
the fusion.
I took a little parts of every my relative and mixed it in myself. Yeah.
Wait, so you went to solfeggio at 3 years old. Did you learn to read music before you learned to read words?
No, it was at the same time.
At the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Well, it's usual for me because I haven't seen other scenery, so it's like, and I mean, it's not normal for me, but it's not that way. And this is usual for me. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Eva, what would you change about yourself?
My emotionality. If there is any word like this, I usually... I'm
going to look... No, I'm not going to look it up. I don't think it's a word, but it makes perfect sense, so don't worry.
No, really, it's great by making music, by the whole work and art, but it's really hard when it happens in life.
It happens with creative people, so...
I know, and every friend, starting from my mother, finishing from not non-well-known people, tell me that I have to be less emotional. And I'm working on it. Honestly, I'm working on it, and I'm trying to, how to say, what the ages... Just to be
round the edges.
Yeah,
round out the edges.
That's what I was. That's what I wanted to say. So I'm working on myself. Yeah.
You said earlier when Ina asked you about a collaboration, you said you hate saying what your favorites are, and I was gonna ask because I know you're a reader. Right? I know you're a reader. I guess I won't ask you what your favorite book is because you wouldn't like that question.
It's impossible to answer that question because we're getting back to in what period of my life.
Well, okay, so that's this. What's the last great book that you read?
There you go.
I'm in process right now. I'm reading Brecht about the Arthur V career. Yeah. I'm in the process. There are a few parts left. Okay. I didn't get to the end right now, but in the last period, I found out that I like fantastics, and that was interesting for me. It took me out of this reality somewhere out. Russian poet Sergei Lukyanenko. The book called Spectre, and it really, I never thought that I like that genre, but I did, and it was the last book that impressed me indeed, that I am recalling right now. That's already a thing that I liked it.
So you're discovering yourself as well during your reading.
Always. Always.
I have another challenging question for you. If any actress was to play you in a movie about your life,
whoa,
who would that be?
Whoa. Emma Watson.
That didn't take long.
Yeah, I love her, but in this
and
question,
why maybe
in this question, I guess she, because the age, the
personality,
the way she plays is, I think she could.
Well, maybe she can try. Yeah.
Oh.
Just let her try.
I will. Oh, you just put me into dreams right now, you know.
Okay, let's put you in another dream. If you find a lottery ticket that ends up winning $10 million, what would you do with it?
I'll buy a new instrument. I'll
just one.
Yes, at first. The most part of the money I'll put into the music, into production of this all, because it's really hard.
Studio?
Yes, I'm doing this all by myself, alone, and thank God I found a shooting team which made my first video and now the second, in the head of Hovannes Razarian, which the director. I have that video part, but musical part is still like flowing. Yes, of course, it would be the techniques of the instrument and the other stuff.
If you were to get a band together to do regular recordings and shows, would it be more like the stuff you've been doing recently, or would you go back to doing the stuff like Eva? Have you mellowed as you've gotten a little bit older?
Yeah, I guess both.
Both?
Because Eva's stuff is non-commercial, so I cannot ask musicians, but let's do it again on enthusiasm, and I'm not sure if I can give you some material stuff. So I guess it will be both. I'm more realistic right now than I was at 15 years old.
Cool. And we'll now go for a break, and we'll come back, and hopefully we'll be granted with another song.
I promise.
Okay, you said that on air. Stay tuned. This is the Great American Weekend, and we're here with Eva Voskanyan.
Hey, what kind of fixins do you like on your hot dog?
Fixins?
Yeah, relish, onions, mustard, ketchup, condiments.
No, not that.
Oh, fixins. I love chili dogs.
Learn about American cuisine on the Great American Weekend.
The time goes on, life passes by, but nothing changed at all, and I'm still living in my world. I've lost dreams and hopes, and I'm just afraid to open the door. Oh no, nobody comes a live like this, forgotten and alone. I was alone, I was lost in my world. It was so cold, no one to warm my frozen lips and take me home. What if I tried to fly with broken wings and heart? What if I learned your life and become a little part of your world, a little piece to tell you how I miss, only to tell you that I still live in our dreams. I realized that I forgot how the rain falls and the wind blows, and I don't feel anymore that sound still warms, 'cause I am locked in my world when it's nothing but my thoughts and my dreams is all that left from me. No light, no love, no hope, but only killing thoughts. I live in black, it's cold and no one to wipe my tears and warm my hands. What if I tried to fly with broken wings and heart? What if I learned a life and become a little part of your world, a little piece to tell you how I miss, only to tell you that I still live in our dreams.
Sorry, there's only 3 of us in the studio.
No. It's much more pleasant and warming when people are... It doesn't matter how many of us here. It matters that you are listening, I saw. I felt...
I think
this is a good question. Have you ever been playing a show and just gotten really upset with someone in the audience or the audience in general?
Well, it happens, of course. It's normally usual thing. There are concerts that go in like the whole way emotionally with best emotions in there. There are some concerts which are not that good, but it's
no
okay.
Energy.
Yeah, but it's okay. Especially in Romania, people are really hard to applaud, hard to express their emotions. Yes, and whenever I get that feedback, it means for me, so I did it that much well that Armenian audience like moved from its place and started to applaud, honestly. Well, but that is our reality. Having concerts in other places like Ukraine, like, I don't know, Germany, Czech Republic, in our neighbors, Georgians, they are all much more expressive than Armenians. So it depends.
Ever been in America?
No, not yet, but I am waiting for that, and I have invitations from my good friends and my aunt, which is there, which I miss so much, her and the whole family. So I hope in the upcoming future I finally will be there
to perform.
To perform also, yeah. At first to perform and then to meet my aunt and friends.
Eva, do you have any phobias?
Oh, lots of them.
Stage phobia?
No. I have no... it happens in... I mean, it's not a phobia. But
Anxiety.
It also depends. There are some shows that I walk out and it's okay. Mm-hmm. And there are some shows that I'm
nervous,
becoming to like. It's not nervous. It's some other feeling. You know, when I don't know anything, I am. What the hell am I doing here? I am no connected to music at all. Why am I here?
Can I go home?
Panic. Yeah, exactly. That's not even being nervous. It's some kind of a panic.
Anxiety.
Yeah, it's more likely. It's more like panic attack, but not a phobia. But phobias are, wow, lots of them, really. Like phobia of the gas. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I have one. I don't know. There's some... I was trying to... Actually, I know, but I won't tell you.
Okay.
Because I went back
Next time.
I went back to my childhood, and as great Carl Jung says, every problem is from your childhood.
From childhood.
So, yeah,
all of us are from childhood, yeah.
I totally agree with that theory. So I found the place, the dot, why I started to afraid of that old gas stuff.
So you've analyzed that at the end of the day. Okay.
I usually make it with myself, the self-analyzing.
We were joking about the couch being a lucky charm for you, but in reality, do you have any lucky charms or amulets that you carry with you?
I do have, for example, this ring, which I got from my friends. They presented me on my birthday. I had another ring, which I don't wear right now, and it just... I imagine like the one ring skipped over my fingers, and now I'm wearing this on this one, and this reminds me something which helps me.
Which you also won't tell.
Of course I won't, but it reminds me of something which. In hard situations, I just look at this ring, and it really helps me to go through the hard periods or hard situations.
Does it also says this will also pass, like the Solomons?
Yeah, got it. That's the ring.
There you go.
Okay.
She stole it
And
from
this
the...
too shall
You
pass.
guessed. Well done.
Okay, I have, if Master Steve doesn't mind, because I had prepared a really short 4-question quiz for you. But
okay.
we can do it with Eva.
If she doesn't mind.
You know what?
It's just something really fun and short. So, which Disney couple are you and your boyfriend?
I'm sorry, what?
Or how about I just ask you the question, purple?
What purple? My hair purple, yeah. So?
Why purple?
Why not? I love this
okay
color.
then. Okay.
I absolutely in love with this color, and I want to have it on my head, literally and not only.
They say it's a depressive color, though.
Who
Some
says?
Some people.
No, I.
Well, yeah, and yellow
Psychologists.
and yellow is supposed to be the favorite color of schizophrenics, right?
Yeah. No, actually, yeah,
is there any truth
is
to that?
No, there is a theory like that, but in psychology, there are some theories which are. The one theory says one thing, and the other theory says exactly opposite about that theory. So about the colors, yes, there is a theory about the depression, but there is also a theory that purple is the perfect color because it's made of red and blue. The red is like, well, you have your associate. Oh my goodness!
Associations.
Yes,
there you go.
Of fire, of life energy, of passion, yes. And the blue is opposite, like of the calm or everything, like even the apathic something.
Oh, so balance.
So yes, the purple is the balance. That's one of the theories also.
Freud or Jung?
Jung.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I wanted to say both, but if
I would have said, if you had to save the books of one of those writers from a fire in the last library in the world,
goodness. Adler.
you would leave both Freud and Jung, and you would take Adler.
Yeah.
Now she's panicking.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know that much about psychology, but I definitely like Jung better than Freud.
Well, agree. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Freud is like, he made the base. He turned out every imagination about that. So I cannot not to respect him at least.
Oh, yeah.
But if, as for me, yeah, I would take Jung. Yeah.
If you appeared on a deserted island, but all your human needs, such as food and water, were taken care of, what 2 items would you take with you? Except the piano.
That goes right up there with food and water, doesn't it?
That's what I was going to say. Like food, water, and piano.
It should be some meaning things or meaningless things.
Anything that
is
dear to you.
I will take my owl. I have an owl.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a puppet owl.
I was thinking a real one.
I would love to have a real one, but I'm with great relations with my puppet owl, and she or he I didn't get till now.
Yet.
The
gender.
the gender of it. So yeah, and it will become 1 year old on 14th, and I love it. My owl.
Is there gonna be a birthday party?
If I had time, but I'm on a concert on that. I mean, I've skipped the all holidays and all the special days, like my birthday, like New Year, like Christmas. Like now I'm skipping the Valentine's Day because I work.
Every
I work
day
on
is
that
like
day.
Christmas with music in your life.
Absolutely. So the second thing is. The first thing I thought about my owl, and I can think about anything else right now.
Okay, there goes the magic all that you need.
And the piano, great.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the most important message that the whole world should hear?
Because everybody in the world is listening
right now. Just
We've
imagine.
arranged that just special for you.
Yeah, just imagine right now. The whole planet is listening to your message.
Don't forget that there are not only outside and outfit and plastic stuff. I call plastic everything which is not natural, not real.
Mm-hmm.
And people are starting to forget about feelings, about emotions, about the world inside us, about some...
the real stuff.
Yes. And it's really sad for me. I just want to, for all of us, to people and to us, me, you, and you, Steve, not to forget that there are some things inside which we have to listen to from time to time. And
thank you.
Okay.
Maybe the next song will be about that.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And you were going to ask about the concert, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're off to Station Pub,
Mm-hmm.
right? What are you going to be playing tonight?
My standard acoustic program, which is like world covers, starting from the Beatles, ending like with Adele, LP, Christina Aguilera, some maybe more rock. Well, it depends on how it goes. And also, perhaps these 3 songs also will
I hope so.
played by this evening.
So do you set out a set list before a show, or do you kind of watch the crowd and see what you think might work best next?
I always have scheduled something before the concert. I cannot understand how people do it without writing down, because I always write down my program. But then it, of course, can be changed while the concert.
And we've got a couple of messages to read before we say bye to our guests. So Gayane Harutyunyan says, no, I have to read this in Armenian. You can translate. Նուրբ ու խորթավոր իմ ընկեր ցանկացած ստեղծագործություն շարժվում է քո էմոցիոնալ ձայնի լարերի շնորհիվ.
Whoa. Kind and how is it?
Kind and mystic friend. Your any work goes along with your emotional voice.
There was something about the soul strings, right? Or not? I didn't recall.
Ձայնի լարերին.
Oh, the voice strings.
Okay, and Irene says, love Eva's English songs, mainly in the first song that made me love her was Dead World.
Oh, there is a person who remembers that song. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Eva Jan, for being with us tonight in the studio. We really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, we're out of time and need to go on a break. We wish you all the best tonight and with all your upcoming events, and hope to see you.
So yeah, if you're out tonight, catch Eva at Station Pub. If you're in Gyumri next Saturday.
Yes, on 15th.
On the 15th, she's playing a concert there. And
please watch the video on 14th of February on a new song which calls Chemuzum. I don't want to in English. And congrat, for example, your beloved ones with that song. I believe, I really want to believe that you like it.
Valentine's is coming, and we'll be back after the break. Stay tuned. The Great American Weekend.
Oh, say, can you see?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
Adamast, what are you doing?
He's trying not to forget where he came from.
Welcome back to the Great American Weekend here on Radio Vaughn. I am Master Steve here with Ina MK.
And we're kind of really drawn far away from reality. We'll try to come back.
Now what do we do now? I mean, that was wonderful music, a wonderful guest, and now it's
so romantic and mystic indeed. I agree.
Yeah. Now we're just going to be babbling, the two of us, for the rest of... No, we're not.
Can we start with... keep singing and just... Okay, never mind.
You've obviously never heard me sing.
But I'd love to. Okay, let's do the quotes. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, I've picked some funny quotes about relationships, love, and since we're talking about Valentine, so that's what I have. And I will start with this one. An archaeologist is the best husband any woman can have. The older she gets, the more interested he is in her. Agatha Christie. No, don't say anything.
I just want to know what the context was for that quote. Did she say that like in an interview, or is that a character in a book? Or because the context out of which that must have come.
Sorry.
That's beautiful. It's hilarious.
If love is the answer, could you rephrase the question? Lily Tomlin. What the world really needs is more love and less paperwork. Oh, that's a good one. I totally agree with Pearl Bailey. Remember, your Valentine's card shows you care enough to send the very best, even though you're too lazy to put it in your own words. Melanie White. Marry a man your own age. As your beauty fades, so will his eyesight. Phyllis Diller. You are never alone on Valentine's Day if you're near a lake and have bread. You're with fish.
You were with fish, apparently. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Bread.
Mike Primavera. I love being married. It's so great to find that one special person you want to annoy for the rest of your life. Rita Rudner. All you need is love, but a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt.
Charles M. Schultz, the creator of Peanuts.
Peanuts, yeah. True love comes quietly without banners or flashing lights. If you hear bells, get your ears checked. Eric Segal. Before you marry a person, you should first make them use a computer with slow internet service to see who they really are. I love that one. Will Ferrell.
At this point in my life, I would probably just get up and walk away. What would that say about me?
That you give up easily.
Or that the internet just isn't that important, maybe.
Yeah. I didn't see that side. See, love is a fire, but whether it is going to warm your heart or burn down your house, you can never tell. Joan Crawford. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. Albert Einstein. Love is a two-way street constantly under construction. Carol Bryant.
It must be in Minnesota.
It must be in Minnesota. Does that often happen in Minnesota?
In Minnesota, there's the joke. There are two seasons in Minnesota: winter and road construction. So either the streets are covered with snow and ice, or they're under construction
because of snow and ice. I guess.
Pretty much.
Love's a lot like a backache. It doesn't show up on X-rays, but you know it's there. George Burns.
George Burns. Oh, man, he was hilarious.
Don't feel bad if you see your ex with someone else. Remember, our parents taught us to give the things we don't need to the less fortunate. And I don't know who said that.
Oh, I find it hard to believe that whoever said that... when that was first uttered, it must have been so memorable. Somebody's got to know who said that first. I don't know how you could hear that and not remember where it came from.
Oh, well. Love is being stupid together. Paul Valerie. If my Valentine, If my Valentine you won't be, I'll hang myself on your Christmas tree. Ernest Hemingway.
Well, fortunately, most people have put their Christmas trees away.
Yeah.
By this time of
we
the year.
We still have it. Master
oh, you do?
Steve.
Oh, well, be careful then.
And
a dangling Hemingway.
No. And
that's a really,
one.
really strange ornament on your tree. Yeah, it's Ernest Hemingway.
Really
I said I wouldn't be his Valentine, and
it's really big ornament. And the last one before the break, Valentine's Day money-saving tips. Break up on February 13th. Get back together on the 15th. In place of bubble bath, use lavender-scented dishwashing liquid. Forget rose petals. Sprinkle the bed with sliced beets. That's very practical.
David Letterman.
And, okay, one more. The Eskimos have 52 words for snow because it is so special to them. There ought to be as many for love. Margaret Atwood. And...
yeah, well, I mean, other languages have lots of words for love. English just has one. The Greeks have like 4.
I don't know. Armenian also has one.
Just has one?
Yeah. It's love. I love you.
The Greeks knew more things.
Yeah.
Let's go back and live in ancient Greece.
Let's go for our break, and then we're going to listen to "Love Is a Many Splendor Thing" by Jeff Lynne, and then we'll come back with some more stuff for you guys to share.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Thomas Edison, a little bit about Abraham Lincoln, maybe some current events later on in the show, and then we'll round out with our calendar of events as usual.
Yeah, not a lot of time this time. Stay tuned.
I would never live in America.
Why not? Didn't you enjoy your time there?
Yeah, why not?
It was good, but it wasn't great.
Because you didn't know us when you were there.
Join Ina MK, Master Steve, and Hasva QT for a great American experience.
Every Saturday on the Great American Weekend.
Welcome back to the Great American Weekend here on Radio Vaughn. I am Master Steve, and I'm here with Ina MK.
We're having a special show tonight. We're kind of dizzy.
We started it off so well.
Yeah. So let's try to keep it up.
Yeah, let's try to keep it up. So this Tuesday is Thomas Edison's birthday. He was born February 11th, 1847. He would be 173 years old. If people didn't die. But then again, if people live forever, would we count our birthdays?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
That would make any sense.
Right, yeah. So he held over 1,000 patents during his lifetime. I think it's 1,093 or something like that. He was a prolific inventor, probably America's most famous inventor. His first business venture was when he was a kid of 12 years old. He convinced his parents to let him sell newspapers to train passengers. And so he got to know the people doing the telegraph thing. He got to know newspapermen, and he decided, hey, I can do this. And he started writing his own little newspaper, like one page with stories on it, and started selling that along with the other papers that he was selling. So he was working with the trains, working on the trains. He set up a little chemistry lab in a baggage car on a train.
Oh,
and
so
when he wasn't
creative.
busy selling the newspapers, he's like 12, 13 years old, right?
Amazing.
He was doing chemistry experiments on the train.
Did it explode?
Yeah. He started a fire. He burned the train car out. He had some problems with his hearing before that. And there are different stories about how he finally, by the time he died, he was deaf.
Oh.
So he was slowly losing his hearing throughout his life. And they're not exactly sure why. But one of the reasons that he claimed that made it worse when he was a kid is he's trying to escape from the burning train car, and the policeman or train conductor or whatever smacked him on the head really hard to punish him. Then later, he saved a 3-year-old child from a runaway train, or a train that was going someplace that it wasn't expected to go, and this little 3-year-old child was going to get hit by the train and killed. He was 15. He saved the child's life. And to repay him, the child's father taught him how to work a telegraph machine. So do you know what a telegraph machine is, right? You know, right? This was, at 15, he knew how to work a telegraph machine, and shortly thereafter, or by age 15, he was working as a telegraph operator. And this would have been a pretty big deal for a 15-year-old. And this was kind of the height of technology. This was the internet of its day, the social media of its day even. So him working at 15 as a telegraph operator would be like, you know, a teenager today working for Google.
Social media marketing.
Yeah. I mean, no, I mean like for Google. Anyway, and then he started, he ended up working at AP, the Associated Press, for a while, always studying, always trying to learn things, always doing thought experiments. When he could get his hands on materials, doing physical experiments as well. He moved to Boston, and when he was in his 20s, and he made a vote counting machine. So when the legislators were voting, and it was like 21 or something like that.
That's
so
young
with the
still.
with like buttons and stuff. So when the congressmen for the state legislature of Boston or Massachusetts, were voting, they could push a button, and it would count their vote. Well, they didn't want it. Because they didn't want to be able to vote quickly. They wanted to have to write it down on paper and have to pass it and collect, you know, all this kind of stuff. So that while the process was going on, they could all talk to each other and try to convince each other to change their votes.
But he was
Edison
ahead of time.
He patented it and he sold it. Other places used it, but Massachusetts didn't want to have anything to do with it. He created the universal stock printer, which is this, well, he didn't invent it, he perfected it. He made it much better, which would be this little thing with the, you know, the ticker tape, the little thin piece of paper, and it would print out the stock prices. And he sold that for $40,000, the rights to it for $40,000 when he was in his 20s. That was a lot of money. He ended up inventing...
I want to be an inventor.
He ended up inventing the Quadruple X Telegraph, which allowed you to send 2 messages in each direction. So you could send 2 messages and receive 2 messages simultaneously on one wire. And that, so they didn't have to lay more wires. Somebody bought that from him for $100,000. And then it was shortly after that, with that money, that he moved to Menlo Park, New Jersey, and set up what was basically an inventing factory. He just had he hired people to work for him. He thought of and oversaw most of the projects and experiments and all this kind of stuff. But it was like a factory to try to come up with inventions.
This is what I call a success story.
Yeah. I mean, he was just, you know, turning around. What he's probably most famous for was the incandescent light bulb. He didn't invent it. He bought a couple of other inventors' patents so that he could work with, he saw what they had done and they had gotten it patented, so he couldn't do it without paying them. So he bought their patents and said, I know how I can make these even better. He kind of combined them, whatever, and he made the first commercially acceptable the first light bulb, the first incandescent light bulb that could really be sold to a consumer. Yeah, it would last long enough to make it worth the price and whatever. And then once he invented that, he tried to get into the electric industry. and he created, what is it called? He founded an electric company that was trying to basically put in wires and bring electricity to people's houses. Yeah, I mean, he was just on top of everything, and one thing led to another. He's not just an inventor. He was a really successful businessman as well, which you can see from, you know, I'm 12 years old and I'm going to start writing my own newspaper, right? Incredible. He founded Edison Illumination Company, or Edison Illuminating Company, which became GE, General Electric. So it's still around. You can still buy GE light bulbs.
Amazing.
And that was started by Thomas Edison. So
that he was a hard worker.
Yeah. In 1896, he did the first motion picture projection.
Wow.
Yeah. He tried to make batteries for electric cars around the turn of the century, but gasoline was more popular and easier, so the gasoline car took off. He ended up making the first car battery for Ford Motor Company for their Model T when they decided to have an electric ignition instead of the crank. Incredible stuff.
Incredible, yeah. Incredible person. Well, do people remember him, I wonder?
Well,
do people know
I think
these things?
In America, if you want to say somebody's really creative and really inventive, you call them Thomas Edison. Huh. And one of his big rival was Nikola Tesla. And there's a huge thing there, controversy and this kind of stuff. Tesla actually worked in, I think it was in the Menlo Park factory, the Menlo Park facility that Edison had. He worked there for a while, and they had a falling out, and then Tesla went and worked for one of the competitors. I think it was Westinghouse or something like that. And Tesla was always a more academic and kind of scientifically based. He would draw everything out in plans and know the theories and be convinced that it would work in his head before he would try it. Edison wasn't. Edison was much more hands-on, apparently, and much more practical. So he would just try stuff. I think this is going to work. Let's try it. Okay, it doesn't work. Let's analyze it and see what went wrong, and then we'll fix it. So he was
just like with the lab.
Yeah.
The first lab that he had.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for sharing this info. It was really, really useful, and it's good to know and appreciate people. Such people. So,
and then on, let's see.
Are you? Can I create a little break for you before?
Oh, well, okay.
Because I'm afraid that we won't have time for the quiz. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, let's do the quiz.
Okay, this is funny.
I stopped you earlier.
Yeah, but it's something else.
Oh, this is a different one?
Yeah. Okay. Pick your favorite sentence and we'll give you the perfect pickup line to use.
Well, and I won't.
Does it
have
have anything
know,
to do with?
I won't know if it'll work or not because I'm not going to try it. I am in no position.
Anyway, pick a fruity scent: fresh orange, peach, pineapple, mango, lemon zest, tropical strawberry, blueberry.
Strawberry.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Pick a unique scent: chicken grease, gasoline, Sharpie, leather seats, puppy's breath, babies.
Babies? Like, you have to be more specific than that. After a bath?
Yeah, I think. Because
before a diaper change?
Babies
No.
Smell like milk.
Yeah. I'm just going to... The strangest one on that list, which actually is really cool, Sharpie.
Yeah.
A permanent marker.
I know.
The smell of a permanent marker. I don't know. It just sticks out in my head.
Pick a fresh scent: cinnamon, lavender, bleach, freshly cut grass, minty fresh, Japanese cherry blossom.
Oh. Japanese cherry blossom or fresh cut grass. Fresh cut grass. Because, I love that smell, and it's not something I get to smell often enough here. There isn't that much grass in Armenia.
Yeah, and maybe it comes from childhood.
Yeah, well, from mowing the lawn. I used to mow the lawn when I was growing up.
I did that in the U.S.
Yeah.
Pick a food scent: ramen, tacos, pizza, spaghetti, chicken wings, donuts.
Well, spaghetti, what's on it? I mean, just the smell of spaghetti, that's kind of
I see there is some tomato sauce on the picture. So.
Okay. I'll say pizza.
Okay. Pick a gross scent. Are you ready for this? Rotten eggs, horse breath, gym sweats, trash, fish, manure.
I was going to say baby again. Baby diaper.
Baby diaper.
Manure. No, because manure. There's one of the. What was the second to last one?
A second last one. Fish.
Fish. No. I'll go with manure.
Okay. Pick a Christmas scent. Candy cane, Christmas tree, hot chocolate, gingerbread house, pine cones, Christmas cookies.
Coffee with Baileys. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't one of the options.
Hot chocolate. That's what I have.
Coffee with Baileys. Christmas tree.
Christmas tree. Okay, intelligent pickup line. That's what you have. You are adorable, mademoiselle. I study your feet with a microscope, and your soul will be the telescope. Dating.
I'm not even sure I understand what that's supposed to mean. And I study your feet with a microscope, and your soul will be the telescope. This is like non sequitur. She's and it's supposed to be
intelligent. I'm crazy. Try it with Anna. See what she says.
Did you take your medicine this morning? If I said that to my wife,
yeah.
Did you take your medicine this morning?
You forgot about your medicine again. Okay, let's come back to our theme. What do we have, Master Steve?
Not much time is what we have. We were going to, so Abraham Lincoln, and I don't know if I have to really say much about Abraham Lincoln. February 12th.
We've done a lot of
Wednesday,
his quotes.
We have done a lot of his quotes. I was going to talk about the Emancipation Proclamation and about the Gettysburg Address a little bit.
You decide. You choose.
But no, I feel like I should do a little bit of news too, though. Anyway, the Gettysburg Address, 77 years ago. What does that mean? 77 years ago. Well, it's 87 years. So a score is 20.
Score is 20.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's a reference back to the Declaration of Independence, 77 years ago. It's a great speech. It's a great speech. And I'm not going to read it. I thought maybe I would, but we don't have time. Check it out. It's a really well-written, short piece that is really, really meaningful. Really, really neat. And speaking of, presidents, we've got Trump was acquitted by the Senate, so he will not be removed from office. He'll remain president until, about a year from now, until the end of time. Well, that's what some people are afraid of. They're afraid that if he loses the election in November, that he won't leave office. And I think you are being ridiculous and alarmist and whatever.
Panicking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he gave his State of the Union address. Actually, he gave his State of the Union address on Tuesday night, and they voted to acquit him on Wednesday. And I listened to the State of the Union address. It was Trump. He stayed on script. He was pretty presidential, actually. A lot of guests, a lot of things that he pointed out, a lot of exaggeration, but you have to expect that from him.
Yeah,
anybody who doesn't expect him to exaggerate the numbers they don't understand what's going on, and they want something that just isn't real. But he didn't wildly exaggerate. Things were fairly on point. So it was a good speech, I think. Whether you like what he had to say or not is another thing. It was very polarizing because he really played to the conservative base. But I think it'll work for him. I really do. And then he snubbed Nancy Pelosi when he walked in. She offered her hand to him to shake hands, and he didn't shake her hand. And then right after the speech, when people were applauding, she took the text of the speech that she had been given and she ripped it up.
Oh.
Right behind him on camera. So, I mean, just
Hollywood.
Yeah. So, and then Monday was the caucuses in Iowa. So it's the first event in the selection process for the candidates for the presidential election in November. Of course, Trump won on the Republican side. There was really no question about that. He's the incumbent. It almost never happens that the incumbent doesn't win in the primaries and get the nomination. There are, I still think, 11 or 12 people running for the Democrats. So that was the huge thing. And the caucuses are different from a regular primary where people just go and vote like they would in an election. The caucuses, you meet in a group, however big the group is, whatever. And then they find out who's supporting what candidate. And then you have a half an hour to talk. And then you vote, like by show of hands or by standing up or moving to a certain side of the room. And then any of the candidates that don't have at least 15%, those candidates get dropped out. And then you have another half an hour to walk around and talk and try to convince people. And then you vote again, right? And so it's a very involved, it's not very involved, but it's a fairly involved process.
Thomas Edison, we need your invention.
Well, no, here's the thing. They were supposed to know the results by Monday night. And all of the places that were doing these meetings, these caucus meetings, they had officials there from the Democratic Party who was in charge of the whole thing with an app on their phone. And they were supposed to report the numbers using the app. So they filled out the paperwork just to have a paper trail. And then they were supposed to use the app to send it in. Well, the app crashed.
Oh, was that an accident?
It just got completely messed up. Well, there are some conspiracy theories out there, and I don't even want to go into that because it's just nuts.
Bet there are. Yeah.
Like, oh, technology isn't working. It must be something nefarious. Somebody must be trying to... No.
Aliens are interfering.
Technology doesn't work sometimes. That's reality. Get over it. It happens.
So use a pen.
Yeah. So they actually had to gather up all the paperwork and count everything. So I think it was Wednesday before we figured out. Pete Buttigieg, and I can't pronounce his name correctly. I read it a lot, but I don't hear it that much because I'm reading the news and not listening to the news now most of the time. Buttigieg, I think is his last name. He got, I think, 26% or whatever, and then 26.4% or 25, or 20 something, around a quarter of the vote. And Bernie Sanders got about a quarter. I think Buttigieg was ahead by like 0.2%. So it was very, very close. And then we go to New Hampshire next week, and then things keep going. So, by this summer, we'll know who the Democratic nominee is at the latest. I think we'll probably know in about 3 months who is most likely.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah. So we'll see. That's the news out of America. The caucuses and the app failure. And it was an interesting week in American news.
And speaking of paperwork, I just remembered the quote that we read earlier. The world needs more love and less paperwork.
Well, see, now... How about apps? More love and less apps?
Well, the world needs entertainment apps to listen to Radio Van, for instance.
Yeah. Or YouTube or SoundCloud so we can listen to the music, right?
Or play something.
Yeah.
Do you play games online?
No.
Do you have any app games?
No. I've got a couple. I've got a couple for Emmy. I don't like games, video games and stuff like that. Sudoku I was into for a little while.
Intellectual
and
games, of course.
Some the words one I guess I did for a little bit. But
that's what
in general,
I do.
I've never really been into games, like gaming or any of that. Not that much. I mean, if it's a group of people and, people are playing, I'll play. I'm horrible at them. But it's more of a group thing that I'll do. I would never sit down and play a game by myself, really. I just wouldn't.
I love group games. And before we go on break, I would like to congratulate everyone Surp Sarkis, Saint Sarkis Day. We spoke about Valentine's, and it's always close to Saint Sarkis holiday, the patron of lovers, people who are in love. Did you eat? I didn't eat the salty cookie. Don't ask me. I didn't eat that. But yeah.
We talked about that last year.
Yeah, we did.
I'm having a little bit of deja vu as I'm sitting here and you're talking about that. Like it was,
of course, because we started our
so
Great
we've been
American Weekend with February. Okay, guys, we are ready for the break, and then right after that, we'll come back with some great American Armenian...
calendar of events. We got the calendar of events after the break, right?
Yeah. Great Armenian weekend, and not only weekend events. Stay tuned. We'll be back after the break.
Ina, what would make America great again?
More barbecue.
No, we need more freedom. That's what'll make it great.
Join us on Great American Weekend
and help us solve all of America's problems.
Every show is recorded by the NSA and sent to the White House.
I wonder if we managed to solve any of America's problems.
We've been at this for a year, and I think the recordings of the show are just being stored in some super secret hard drive in the White House.
Because we have all the solutions.
Yeah, this is not Fox News. Trump is not listening to us.
But we have a nice...
If he did, the world would be a different place. And on that note, full of hyperbole and exaggeration, we have the events for this coming week. American Corner Yerevan, the Reading Club with Jim Daly, February 11th at 1 p.m. The Yerevan American Corner invites you to this week's Reading Club, moderated by Jim Daly. This week you will read and discuss an excerpt from The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It is a great book.
And a great movie.
Which one? There are two. I actually haven't seen either of them because I like the book so much.
I love DiCaprio. You shouldn't ask that.
Okay, all right. Well, but I mean, Robert Redford was in the other one, wasn't he? And he's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Anyway,
deal.
Please be informed that the club is for people 18 plus with an intermediate level of English. There will be a couple other events at American Corner Yerevan this week, and we'll post them on our Facebook group when they are announced.
And there are movies in English at Kino Park Yerevan Mall from February 9th through 12th. Here we go. Bad Boys for Life, American action comedy film starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, 11:35 p.m. There is 1917 British epic war film at 6:10 p.m. Little Women, American coming of age period drama film at 4:20 p.m. Birds of Prey, a superhero film, 6:45 and 9:20 p.m.
Great. And opera and ballet this week. We have Anush, the opera in 3 acts on February 12th at 7 p.m. Sounds of Love, concert at the theater's Special Hall, February 14th at 7 p.m.
Here we have live music, Sharak Project at Ulihanyan Club, February 9th at 8:30 p.m. Acoustic Night with Apo Tamerian, February 9th at the venue.
Winter Meetings, Garik and Sona at Kami Music Club, February 9th at 9:30 p.m. Boeing Orchestra, 12 Club, February 9th. Acoustic Colors at Ulihanyan Club, February 10th at 8:30. Kami's Live Friends Project, February 12th at 9:30 at Kami Club, of course. 4 Colors at Ulihanyan Club, February 11th at 8:30. A live session by Gor Suljan at Kami Club, February 11th. David Mikoyan's group, Personal Opinion, at Ulihanyan Club on February 12th at 8:30. Dave Gildakian's Quartet at Ulihanyan Club, February 13th. Double Treble, live at the venue on February 13th. The Band and Karina Arustamian at Kami Club February 13th at 9:30. Vahagan Hyderpetian Sextet February 14th at Ulihanyan Club, I believe.
Yeah.
And Dialogue Project is at Ulihanyan Club a week from tonight, February 15th at 8:30 p.m.
Clocker at Stop Club February 8th.
Well, yeah, that's going on tonight. Yeah.
And MVF Band also tonight. If you're on your
out
way.
and about.
Yeah.
No, if you're out and about, get your butts over to Station Pub.
And listen to Eva. Other events, we've got Pop Quiz Volume 10 at the venue, 9 p.m. February 10th. Club Night with Hoopa, Hamlet, and Yi at Polygraph tonight, starting from midnight, so you guys have plenty of time to get there. Silent Disco Yerevan Volume 2 tonight. It started at 8 p.m. and I'm sure that it will last till far past midnight.
Because the neighbors are not going to be complaining.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're dancing with really heavy feet.
There is this performance, My Name is Red. It is on February 11th at 7:30 p.m. at Yerevan State Puppet Theater.
What is that?
It sounds interesting.
It reminds me of the Orhan Pamuk book, My Name is Red. I wonder if there's a connection.
Yes.
Yeah?
You're right.
Oh, that is an incredible book. I wonder what that
and staged by
is.
Tatevik Melkonyan, so she's really good. And
okay.
I'd recommend people to go and watch it, and if I make it, I will join it as well. Also, there is a performance for kids at Stanislavski Russian Theater, The Little Prince, March 10th, and it is at 5 p.m. That's all that we had prepared for this upcoming week, and since we have time, I'll read a short poem by Lawrence Hart of My Funny Valentine. This is how we'll wrap up. My funny Valentine. Sweet, comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable. Still, you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak? When you open it to speak, are you smart? Don't change a hair for me. Not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine. Stay. Each day is Valentine Day.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you again to Eva Voskanyan for gracing us with her presence and playing some beautiful music tonight. Again, there's still time to run out and catch her playing at Station Pub. And, well, that's all we've got for this week.
We're done, and
we'll see you next weekend from 7 to 9 here on Radio Von for the Great American Weekend.
And one more thank you before we leave. Thanks to our dear Artak for organizing all the sound for us. Bye-bye. Have a great end of the week.